Future Sil chose a revealing dress that doesn't fit my body, but she won't let me modify it and expects me to be confident in it. My future Sil is getting married, so of course I'm a default bridesmaid. She didn't give us options for the dress, she picked it out and told us it's the one we'll be wearing. The dress is a strapless, backless, thigh-slit halter neck. I am a larger girl, triple D chest should explain why I don't wear backless or halter styles. Backless means I can't wear any form of supportive bra and there is virtually no shapewear I can put underneath it. The only bras that work are stickies or tape, which do not hold me up in the least. I tried the dress on, my chest is spilling out the sides, back rolls are on full blast, and I am popping out of this thing every which way. I'm so uncomfortable. I basically told the bride, sorry, I know it's your big day but there is no way I'm wearing this dress. My body shape is different from the rest of the bridal party and I can't justify wearing it. I told her I'd be fine if I can simply modify it to be more conservative at the back and chest. She declined and told me to just be more confident in myself because all the dresses must be identical for photos. I have no body confidence issues, there are plenty of styles that suit my figure. It just so happens that this dress was not made for larger women and does not look appropriate on my body. I want to drop out of the wedding but my family insists I stay in because it's my Sil and it would ruin the wedding and the relationship. I don't get why I should have to be paraded around in front of my entire family, extended family, friends, colleagues, neighbors, etc. in an outfit that makes me uncomfortable. It's just getting ridiculous. I tried to resolve the issue with tact and class and was shot down, so I feel I've earned the right to be petty. I'm going to order some really specific shapewear which can be concealed under what little material this dress has. Kudos to you all who sent me suggestions. I'll be going full side boob, full shimmer added on the exposed back, and full body oil on the legs for the thigh slit. I'll be doing an updo on the hair so there is nothing getting in the way of this dress. I'll be wearing a shawl for everything else, but trust that for the ceremony I'll be looking like Salma Hayek in Dusk Till Dawn. Let's see what she thinks about this body confidence she asked me to find. Girl please. If anyone is curious I'll most likely come back in May to post my pics. So, about 6 months ago the bride planned her destination bachelorette trip and charged each of the 11 girls $650 for the Airbnb. I was salty about the high cost but it's my Sil so I sucked it up and paid her. I also was suspicious about the high AF price so I did cross-check the Airbnb listing and it checked out. Yes, this B wanted a $2300/night beachfront house. Well, today I'm chatting about wedding stuff with my brother, who is marrying future Sil, and he said something along the lines of what a relief her dad paid for the Airbnb because that would have been so expensive for your group. I about choked. I said, hey, are you sure about that because all 11 girls paid $650 for the house alone. Maybe run it by her ... His face turned purple so I take it he had no idea. To add to the greed going on here, when I got married I flew her out, paid for her accommodations, paid hair and makeup, paid for her bridesmaid dress, and paid transportation because she was going through a hard time. Now she has the balls to steal from me. I get that weddings are expensive but don't have one if it requires stealing from your BMs. I'm assuming I'm the only BM who is aware of what's going on here. Not sure if I should spill to the group or just let it go. There's a chance her dad stepped in and paid for it after the fact, and she just chose not to refund us. I'm not clear on the exact situation and want to avoid embarrassing my brother. I'm morally obligated to spill the beans because $650 is not child's play. This is what I'm going to do. First, I'm going to talk to my brother and give him a chance to clear it up with Sil. Before I make a scene, I want to understand what's really going on. For example, did daddy pay for the trip but Sil decided to put that towards a different wedding expense? Things like that. Update 2. Alright, so I regrouped with my brother. My mom also stepped in, bypassed my brother, and got some more info directly from her dad. Here's the tea, future Sil's dad did not offer to cover the cost until a few months after we all paid for the trip. This was after he found out the cost and was pissed that she chose a $2300/night house and asked us to pay. Apparently he threatened not to pay for the wedding if she added more expenses onto the wedding party. Turns out she originally wanted it at the Maldives and he forbid her. According to my mom who chatted with him directly, he felt embarrassed when he heard about the Airbnb price and wanted to save face with my side of the family. So he gave Sil about $7,000 to cover the cost of the house. She was supposed to refund us but obviously that never happened. This is where IT gets good, so my mom went total FBI and learned that in addition to not paying us, Sil didn't put the money towards a different wedding expense either. She doesn't have it. So where did it go? What did she spend it on? There is currently a full-blown investigation going down between our two families. RN. I have been asked by my mom not to alert the BMs just yet until we get the last bits of info and come to a resolution with both Sil and her dad. But we will tell them ASAP one way or another. Update 3. The plot thickens. So as this drama is all unfold, Ing, the maid of honor, who doesn't know what's going on yet, is continuing her duties. We all get a 4-paragraph text from her outlining the dress code for each night of the bachelorette, per the bride's orders. Keep in mind the bride is asking us all to go out and buy new outfits for each night of the trip. And the themes are wild: animal print Thursday, faux fur Friday, sparkle dress Saturday, and Barbie brunch Sunday. As if we're all going to go out and buy that SHT 1 week before the trip, or at all. Thankfully the BMs seem to be waking up to the BS. Several of them wrote back saying they won't be able to pull together those outfits in time, and one flat out said it's just not going to happen. But that's just a side story to the absolute SHT show that is unfolding. My mom is very involved now as she's paid a decent chunk of this wedding as well, and is not like that the bride is throwing around thousands of dollars from her dad as well as lying to the bridal party. She set up a meeting directly with Sil to cut the BS and explain what's going on. She told Sil she's going to inform the BMs herself unless she gets a valid answer. At this point I'm just shoveling down popcorn waiting for the events to unfold. Update 4: She used the $7,000 to book a swan-shaped ice sculpture to be displayed at the reception and didn't tell anyone. Turns out her dad banned her from adding any more extras to the wedding design because it was already so expensive and unnecessary. When he Venmo'd her for the Airbnb, she thought she was being sneaky and kept it instead. She didn't even tell my brother this. He only found out that her dad decided to cover the Airbnb because those two went out for cigars one night and it came up. So that mystery is solved thanks to my mini FBI crew, but now the real questions remain. Where TF is my $650 and how to break the news to the BMs. Out of the kindness of her soul, my mom is giving Sil 24 hours to confess to the bridesmaids and figure out how to pay us back our money. Because you know what, I did not spend $650 on some damn ice. I have kids to feed. I have bills to pay. It is taking everything in me not to text the BM group right now, but my mom is trying to give Sil one opportunity to do the right thing. Update 5: First let's start with the bride's explanation to her family, myself, my mom, my brother, her fiancé, and her dad. She broke down crying saying that wedding planning has been getting to her head, and she has been crushed under the pressure to have the perfect wedding. Which she felt couldn't go on without this alleged ice swan. I didn't buy her sob story. After this whole incident I think she is a delusional, controlling, attention-starving bridezilla who is using the wedding as a way to compete with other girls on Instagram. BTW, her job is influencer if I didn't mention that yet. My brother took the bait. To be honest, I don't even blame him. This is his future wife, and he said he wants to help her with her mental health and get her back to a good place. He is disturbed by the situation but will continue to support her. The wedding is on, for those who were curious. Next let's get into the matter of the missing $7,000 and whether we're getting our money back. The sad, gut-wrenching answer, probably not. Her dad said he has already paid the Airbnb cost once and he will not do it again. He said his daughter is 31 and needs to get herself out of her own mess and figure out how to make it right. She chimed in that the $7,000 is gone and asked how she would possibly pay us back. My brother refused to pay for her screw-up. While I love that everyone is finally forcing this B to be an adult, I would like my money back more. Unfortunately we're not going to get it unless she magically wins the lottery or gets a real job. For those that asked, there is nothing we can do legally. We all willingly paid a fixed amount and we would have to move mountains, and spend more dollar, to sue. Plus, while he was incredibly shady and a terrible friend, she technically didn't do anything wrong that we could prove. Now on to the bridesmaids. After some threats from my mom, Sil finally broke down and contacted the BMs in our group chat. She sent a text that made my skin crawl. Hey ladies. You're my bride squad, so I feel compelled to share that my dad recently offered to pay for our Bach accommodations. However, being that the wedding is so expensive, I have decided to put his donation towards a wedding expense. I hope you all understand and I can't wait to party with you all next week. Oh hell no. I immediately replied back making sure everyone knew the expense was an ice sculpture. An ice swan. Come on people. Many of them replied and expressed how they would have loved to use that $650 for something more important. But ultimately no one has backed out. One of the girls started a side chat without the bride and asked if there is any chance of getting our dollar back if we force Sil to cancel the reservation. Unfortunately, since we're only a week out, we aren't eligible for a refund. They decided to go through with the Bach or else it would be a literal waste of $650. As for myself, I'm in the same boat. I would rather run myself over than go on this trip. But $650 is not a small amount and I can't fathom just throwing it down the drain. I haven't made my final decision yet. If I do go, it will solely be to avoid eating the $650 plus my airfare. I will not be doing any of the planned events or outfits, or contributing even $1 more. I would have my own mini vacation as best I can. There are so many curious comments coming in, so I want to keep you in the loop. More drama has unfolded among the bridesmaids. The side text without the bride popped off and we have all agreed to do the following. We will be going on the trip, but it is no longer a bachelorette trip. We will all be taking personal vacations with our hubbies/significant others while staying at the property. We were forced into this beachfront mansion plus airfare, so we're going to make the most of it. We have all backed out of hosting and paying for the bridal shower. The bride will need to find another way to move forward if she wants to have it. We will attend as guests if she has it, and we will not be gifting anything. Mother of the bride is absolutely furious. More on this later. We're letting the bride know she needs to cancel the ice swan and give us our money back. After some more research, we doubt all of the $7,000 went towards the alleged swan because it doesn't seem like and they cost that. Update 6: The absolute tea I have today. It took me so long to write this because I am at a complete and utter loss for words. Where to begin? Let me start with this. There is no ice swan. There never was an ice swan. It was all an elaborate fabrication designed to distract everyone from where the missing $7,000 actually went. RIP ice swan. Turns out there was a reason behind Sil's luxury bachelorette location. Here's what happened. All the bridesmaids show up to the beachfront mansion with our significant others. Sil had already been made aware that it was no longer a bachelorette, but to our complete shock, she was still stunned that we actually meant it. She arrived last in her pre-booked limo, absolutely fuming that no one else showed up to the limo meeting spot at the airport. She was the only one still sticking to the original itinerary. Then she was flabbergasted that the husband/so's were with us. It was a comedy show at best. Anyway, we went about our individual mini vacations and eventually someone realized it had been about 48 hours since anyone had seen Sil. I assumed she was mad and either flew home or went to stay somewhere else. Then the unthinkable unfolds. Sil rolls up the driveway in a wheelchair being pushed by 2 female nurses. The entire group jumped into action thinking something horrible happened. Everyone ran over to see what was going on, but the nurse ushered us away and wheeled Sil into her room. At this point I'm actually very concerned. We're all banging on her door asking if she's okay. The nurses eventually leave and say they legally can't reveal the nature of her health issue but assure us she's fine. I call my brother and mom but get no answer, so I finally decide to call her mom, aka the mother of the bride, who is furious that we took over the bachelorette party. Mom reveals what actually took place. She isn't sick, she didn't have a health issue, there was no accident, she got her boobs done. Yes folks, you read that correctly. She had planned, as part of the original itinerary, to disappear for an afternoon and return with a set of new melons. I'm sorry, what? The location of the beachfront mansion is conveniently 5 minutes away from a very famous cosmetic surgeon's office. The reason she needed this giant-ass property was not really to host 11 girls, it was to host 11 girls plus the surgery recovery nurses and personal chef she had reserved for after the operation. There is so much more that we need to unpack, I honestly don't know where to begin. What was her mother's knowledge/involvement in all this? What was the cost of the procedure, guessing around $7,000, and why was it meant to be part of the BOC? What was the purpose of the I Swan lie? WTF? Will the bridesmaids, myself included, pursue legal action? Where does this leave my brother? Is this lady okay mentally? Was this a horribly misplaced cry for attention? Was it an FU to the bridesmaids somehow? So many questions remain. I am only a few hours back from this trip, so this is all the information I have right now. I was intending for this to be my final update, and I just want to say, thank you all for your support, advice, bags of popcorn, and funny input. This has been a wild ride and I'm glad I could share it with you. So far we have had this crazy ordeal picked up by a news publication, multiple podcasts, and a magazine. I literally want to write a book about this experience. Update 7. Alright y'all, get your comfy socks and your popcorn because I've been holding on to this update for so long and I have to get it all out there. I feel like at this point we've all become good friends. Literally when I do these updates I like to imagine we're all together eating snacks and gossiping. I'm on desktop right now so you know I mean business. Anyway, let me start with this. The wedding is officially off. I know a lot of you out there were team #cancel the wedding, so this should warm your soul. For me personally, I wanted it to work out for my brother despite her insanity. Skeptical, I was kind of hoping this would, somehow, all blow over like a bad dream and he could find normalcy again. Unfortunately that is not at all the case. Here's what happened. When I last updated you, Sil had pulled up to the bachelorette with a set of new melons and shocked us all. We were left wondering WTF, and I told you I needed to stop the updates to protect my brother's privacy. Well, that has all changed now and I've been given permission by my brother to spill the F-King tea. My brother was aware that Sil had planned on getting a breast augmentation at some point this year. He actually knew it would be during the bachelorette trip. Despite thinking it was very weird, he really wanted to support her. So he kept her surprise a secret. What he did not know was that she may have used the bridesmaids' money, or even her dad's, to finance it. But it turns out that she did not in fact use our money or her dad's money to pay for the new titties. That's because her procedure was on the house. Update 8. At this point in time the wedding is off. My brother has learned about Sil's affair with the plastic surgeon and he called off the engagement, called off the wedding. It is donzo not happening. Also the bridesmaids who had initially assumed that the missing $7,000 went towards the melon job, we are now aware that the procedure was free, it was on the house. So we still don't know where it went. Let's start with the affair. So much of this information, in fact the vast majority of the information, is second-hand provided to me by my brother. With permission to share with you all. So when he called off the engagement, my brother asked Sil to give him the whole truth. It was the least she could do. He just wanted to know honest to God what happened. And this is what I learned. The wife of the surgeon apparently learned about the affair thanks to a pair of Tiffany diamond earrings which went missing from her jewelry collection, and at some point she goes down to the hospital to bring her husband lunch. Then she sees a female patient wearing the exact pair of Tiffany diamond earrings that she has lost. And yes, you guessed it, that patient was our bride. Now I don't know the timeline of when the wife realized that the earrings were missing and started those suspicions, but I do know that she would have seen Sil wearing those earrings at the hospital while she was there getting her consult for the free melon job, and this would have been long before the bachelorette trip. Most likely on one of their earlier visits while Sil was flying in and out of town to see him. Now she did, as part of her confession to my brother, that she did steal the diamond earrings from the wife during one of the times that she was at the surgeon's house. This crazy bat stole the earrings of the wife, and if you ask me that is a whole other basket of cuckoo crazy, but alas. So the surgeon demands the earrings back according to Sil. So he either realized that she stole them or the wife had, or the wife would have had to bring it up to him and say, "Hey, I'm missing these earrings, I saw this girl in your office wearing them. What's up?" So he's demanding the earrings back, and here's the kicker. She doesn't have them. She doesn't have the earrings. She claiming that she lost them. I don't know if she got rid of THM. Did she burn them? Was she batshit crazy off her rocker? Obviously yes. But the earrings aren't in her possession anymore. So she asks, how much do they cost? I'm just going to pay you back for the earrings and we're gonna move on and continue with our messed up affair. Turns out they cost about $7,500 from Tiffany's. And there you have it, folks. Just like that, the mystery of the missing $7,000 is solved. So at the time when she was starting to plan this bachelorette trip, and then her father comes along offering to cover the cost of the Airbnb, she probably sees a golden ticket to recoup almost the full amount of money she needed to pay back the stolen earrings. And she did admit to my brother that she sent her dad's money to the surgeon after he had offered to pay for the Airbnb. So the surgeon has our missing $7,000, and to be quite honest, I don't know who is worse. Someone who would start an affair, steal from the wife and then rob their bridesmaids to pay back the cost, or the surgeon who continued the affair after learning the mistress stole from his wife. I mean, these two were just made for each other. So I'll never know if the surgeon gifted his wife a new pair of diamond sparklers from Tiffany's with the money, but I do know that she was obviously suspicious. I mean, one or another this lady found out. Could have been from bumping into Syl at the hospital and seeing the earrings, which would be my best guess, or it could have been something else that set her off later and caused her to find out. But she ended up at the family home, so obviously she knew something was up. I know that social media was part of the way that she tracked Syl down. So she obviously had her name in advance. Could have been from the hospital? Maybe not, because my understanding is that's not allowed, like I don't think you're allowed to disclose patient information. Not sure if it was that, but regardless of how she got the name, sure, anyone with a name and a mission can find an address online, and unfortunately I'm not at liberty to share the details of the confrontation between the wife and Syl. There are just certain things that I cannot get into publicly, that happens to be one of them. So this update ends here, and guys, this is the end of the kettle. All the tea has been spilled and it was boiling hot, thanks to you guys helping me spill it. And I'll tell you what, I will be back with at least one update on how my brother's doing. I'm rooting for him, you're rooting for him. We all want to see him recover, so I'll keep you in the loop. I'll let you know how he's holding up.